Use and overutilization of water. Water is the most precious resource because it is considered as the liquid of life. Animal body has 50 to 80% water, whereas plant body has 60 to 90% water. In several chemical reactions, water is either a medium in itself or acts as a catalyst. Water is also necessary to maintain the fertility of the soil. It is believed that 2/3 part of the earth is water, but potable water is only 3% and can be used for drinking, cooking, bathing, washing clothes, hydroelectricity generation, irrigation, and industrial purposes. Water flowing in the streams and rivers is 0.0001%, that means 1 bucket in 10,000 buckets. Freshwater lakes contain 0.009% of total water. Groundwater up to the depth of 150 meters accounts for only 0.625%. Water found in the frozen state on the poles and mountains and which cannot be directly used accounts for 2.15%. The map shows that Andhra Pradesh and Tamil Nadu have the least quantity of usable groundwater. Since potable water is scarce, different water resources should be exploited with caution. Water cycle. The ocean is the main source of water. The volume of water in the ocean is about 12,700 lakh cubic kilometers. In the presence of sunlight, water evaporates in the form of vapor. The evaporation occurs in rivers, lakes, ponds, streams, and swampy areas. Plants also transpire water in the form of vapor. Water vapor forms clouds, and ultimately there is rainfall, due to which water is returned to the soil, the rivers, and the oceans. Some water is found in frozen state on the poles and mountains in the form of glaciers. Glaciers melt and become part of rivers. Thus, water evaporated from rivers and oceans is returned back. This is called the water cycle. Various uses of water. Domestic purposes and urban management. Water is necessary for drinking, bathing, washing, gardening, and animal husbandry needs. On an average, 170 liters of potable water is necessary per person per day. As regards drinking water, it is 3 liters per day per person. Potable water should be colorless, odorless, and transparent. In Indore, a city in Madhya Pradesh, potable water is brought from Mandaleshwar through a 75-kilometer long pipeline.
In the state of California in USA, potable water comes to the famous city of Los Angeles from the distant mountains of Sierra Nevada through a 416-kilometer long pipeline. Similarly, the Calgary Desert in Australia is connected with a 560-kilometer long pipeline for transporting potable water.
River valley civilizations flourished in the ancient world. Even today, major cities of the world are situated along river banks. Kanpur and Varanasi are situated along the banks of river Ganga. Agra and Delhi are situated along the banks of river Jamuna. London is situated along the banks of the Thames River. Stalingrad is situated along the banks of the Volga River. Industrial water supply. Cement factories, textile industries, chemical industries, paper pulp industry, and leather tanning industries need plenty of soft water. Hard water containing salts of calcium and magnesium is of no use because it spoils the machines and also corrodes the pipelines.
Manchester is well known in the world for the textile industry, but underground water there being hard, most of the washing and processing is carried out at Main, where soft water is available.
Agriculture. Agriculture is the oldest occupation of the world. Most of the world's population lives in East Asia and South Asia, where agriculture is the most common profession. River water, rainwater, and water from dams is used for agriculture. It is believed that irrigation was started in India. Irrigation canals are dug out from rivers and dams. In South India, ponds and lakes are the source of irrigation. Rice, wheat, cotton, sugarcane, pulses, and oilseed crops are grown on rain-fed as well as irrigated fields. Navigation and shipping. Heavy articles are transported by ships and steamers to different parts of the world. Hydroelectricity. Water from dams is allowed to fall on turbines and hydroelectricity is produced. Minerals. Seawater and Sambar Lake of Rajasthan are sources of common salt. Pearls are also obtained from pearl oysters growing in water. Mineral oil. In the Gulf countries, wells are dug in the sea to obtain mineral oil. In India, Bombay High and Ankleshwar in Gujarat are well known for mineral oil. India uses 90% of its water for agriculture, 7% for industry, and 3% for domestic use. Classification of water resources. Water resources can be classified as terrestrial and marine. Terrestrial resources can be further classified as upper ground. In upper ground, we have rains, rivers, ponds, lakes, glaciers, and springs. Underground, we have wells, hand pumps, and tube wells. The marine resources include the oceans and the seas. Quantity of water in different sources is as shown. Glaciers provide 240 lakh cubic kilometers of potable water. Lakes and ponds 280,000. Rivers and waterfalls 1,000. Moisture in soil 85,000, and underground water provide 60,000 cubic kilometers. Overutilization of surface and groundwater.
The problem of overutilization of potable water is no longer confined to a small territory or even a nation, but has assumed gigantic proportions spanning the entire world. So much so that it is presumed that in case there is a third world war, it will be for water. The reasons for scarcity of potable water are:
population explosion. The population of India in 1981 was 68.5 crores. In 2000, it rose to 100 crores, and in 2010, it is about 125 crores. Availability of potable water in 1951 was 5,117 cubic meters per person per year. In 2000, it had reduced to 1,869 cubic meters per person per year. Urbanization. Villagers are gradually migrating to cities which are facing population pressure. The result is agriculture and forest land near cities is getting converted to residential areas. Water pollution. Fertilizers and pesticides are the basic requirements of modern agriculture. But during rains and with irrigation, these flow into nearby rivers and lakes, causing pollution of potable water. Industrial effluents containing toxic substances like mercury, lead fluorides, and arsenic flow into nearby water bodies, resulting in the pollution of potable water. Irregular rains. Due to climatic changes, the rains have become irregular and scanty. Deep tube wells. Hand pumps and tube wells are dug to supply drinking water as well as water for industries and irrigation. The result is that underground water is getting exhausted, and places like Sitamau in Mandsaur, Fanda in Bhopal, Depalpur in Indore, Badnagar in Ujjain, Susner in Shajapur, Manawar in Dhar have almost no groundwater now. Lifestyle. Public pipelines at most of the places have no taps. Hence, large quantities of water is wasted. Flush latrines also increases the consumption of water. Tub baths and coolers also consume plenty of water. Cheap rates of water. Drinking water and water for irrigation are supplied at subsidized rates. This encourages the tendency to misuse water. Floods. Flood is a natural hazard caused due to excessive rainfall or the meandering route of the river. During floods, the rivers swell, burst their banks, and floodwaters spread to engulf fields, farms, houses, and even railway lines. Man is also responsible for encouraging floods due to the following reasons: felling trees along riverbanks, soil erosion, bursting dams, deforestation in hilly areas, and construction of houses along riverbanks.
3.5% of the total Earth's area, which supports 16.5% population, is badly affected by floods. In India, the rivers Brahmaputra, Ganga, Kosi, Mahanadi and Narmada are well known for causing floods every year. The same story more or less applies to the rivers Mississippi and Missouri in USA. In China, it is the Yangtze and Yellow River. In Myanmar, that is erstwhile Burma, the Irrawaddy. In Pakistan, the Sindhu River, and in Nigeria, the Niger River, and of course in Italy, the Po River are well known for causing floods. In September 2008, the Kosi River in Bihar changed its course. As a result, thousands were rendered homeless, the railway tracks were damaged at several places, and thousands of animals died. Major parts of the eastern India, comprising of the states of UP, Bihar, Orissa, West Bengal and Assam, are badly affected by floods every year.
Control measure for floods. Plantations. Plantation along river banks should be encouraged because roots of trees act as soil binders and check soil erosion. Construction of dams. Fast-flowing rivers should be provided with dams which should be looked after properly. Construction of walls. Walls should be constructed along river banks to check excess flow of water. Flood control centers. Flood control centers should be established in sensitive areas. In India, the following centers are working in this direction: Delhi, Yamuna River; Varanasi, Ganga River; Jalpaiguri, Teesta River; Patna, Ganga River; Bhubaneswar, Swarnarekha River; Hyderabad, Godavari River; Guwahati, Brahmaputra River; Bharuch, Narmada River. These centers inform people in their respective areas in advance so that they can move to safer places. The administration also remains alert. Drought. Drought is a major problem in India due to failure of one or more monsoons. Sometimes the failure is so acute that even drinking water becomes a problem.
In 1990, potable water was transported to Devas in Madhya Pradesh by trains. Droughts affect homes, agriculture and industries. Drought-prone areas are faced with irregular periods of famine.
The government of Madhya Pradesh and other states start drought relief programs in which people are given wages in bad years to build roads, minute irrigation works and plantations. According to Indian Meteorological Department, a state or area is considered as drought hit if the rainfall is 75% less than the average. Drought is a natural hazard, but several human activities are also involved in its creation, especially in the felling of trees. Therefore, good environmental management can reduce its ill effects. Due to drought, the people of Rajasthan migrate for a few months to nearby states along with their camels, sheep, goats, etc. Reasons for drought: scanty rainfall, surface runoff of water, deforestation, uncontrolled grazing, and desertification. Effects of drought: migration of animals and human beings as observed in Rajasthan, Gujarat, Maharashtra and Andhra Pradesh. Famine conditions: extinction of some species of animals. Control measures: plantations, starting dry farming, conservation of groundwater, judicious use of groundwater, proper maintenance of conventional sources of water. Conflicts over water. Water, an important natural resource, is the basic need of mankind. Due to technological advancement, water is needed for irrigation, fishing industry, hydroelectricity and other industries. The amount of potable water being limited, it creates conflicts at national level and state level. Every year, about 8 crore new people assert their claim over water, resulting in conflicts. There is conflict between Russia, Germany and Austria for the share of water from the Danube River. The Farakka water dispute between India and Bangladesh is related to the distribution of the water of Ganga River. There is dispute between India and Pakistan on the distribution of the water of the Sindhu River. The Government of India has appointed several tribunals to overcome the conflicts over water, for example, the Kaveri Water Dispute Tribunal, the Godavari Water Dispute Tribunal, the Krishna Water Dispute Tribunal, the Narmada Water Dispute Tribunal, the Ravi Vyas Water Dispute Tribunal. Dams, benefits and problems. There are about 45,000 large dams around the world, out of which China and India, the world's two most populous countries, have 50% of them. The dams are built on rivers for irrigation and hydroelectricity. In India also, several large dams were built after freedom. Some of the important projects connected with large dams in India are the Damodar Valley project in West Bengal, the Bhakra Nangal project in Punjab, the Hirakud Dam in Orissa, the Gandhi Sagar Dam, Madhya Pradesh and Rajasthan, Kosi and Gandak project in Bihar, Sardar Sarovar Dam in Gujarat, the Mayurakshi project in West Bengal, the Nagarjun Sagar Dam in Andhra Pradesh, the Narmada Sagar Dam in Madhya Pradesh, the Tawa project in Madhya Pradesh, the Tehri Dam in Uttaranchal, the Tungabhadra project in Karnataka and Andhra Pradesh, and the Almaty project in Karnataka. Benefits of dams. Irrigation. It increases the yield of agricultural products because more than one crop can be taken in 1 year. Hydroelectricity. The water of dams is allowed to fall on turbines and electricity is produced, which is the basic requirement of present-day life. Development of industries. Industries need plenty of water, which is easily supplied by dams. Underground water. The level of underground water rises. Fisheries. Dams encourage fishing industry. Problems. Fragmentation and physical transformation of rivers. Disturbances of river ecosystems. Displacement of people, as in the case of the Nagarjuna Sagar Dam and Sardar Sarovar Dam, due to which around 2.5 lakh people were displaced. Salinity of soil increases due to waterlogging. Animal population gets dislodged because their habitat undergoes submergence. Emission of greenhouse gases from reservoirs due to the decomposition of vegetation. Earthquakes. Due to heavy weight of water, the rocks become prone to earthquakes. In 1967, the Koyna Dam near Pune resulted in earthquakes in which 2,000 people died. In Madhya Pradesh, Jabalpur and Khandwa have also faced earthquakes. Malaria. Due to stagnant water and muddy areas, there is an increase in the mosquito population, and reports of malaria have increased in these places. It is therefore advisable that small ponds should be constructed to supply water for irrigation with less investment of money.
Water is considered to be the most precious of all natural resources. It is supposed to be renewable, but potable water is hardly 3% and it is used for the purpose of drinking, irrigation, industries and hydroelectricity generation. The supply of potable water is shrinking on a daily basis. Several states in India have entered into disputes over the supply of water. We have to be therefore very cautious and conscious about the consumption of potable water so that the development does not result into destruction.